I still remember my old granny was saying that mad people don't get any disease. I was thinking she is mad. But now a study in the West has shown that so-called mad people like schizophrenics and maniacs etc. who were locked up in the olden days for 40 long years did not even have a common cold. They did not have a common cold because a mad, so-called madman, which you and I think is mad, he thinks we are mad. That man has no contact with his body at all. He is completely outside himself. So if you don't concentrate on your body, you don't get any disease. So they don't even get common cold. And that's a very great statement which has come from the Indian wisdom. ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಶಬ್ದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಮ್ಮ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ರ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದ but I have been using this word ever since the beginning of my career. I don't know, I didn't know the significance of that word, but I always think each one of us, whoever you are, is an extension of me, because that's really molecular biology. There's nothing new about it. So one doesn't have to really understand the word for that. ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, first of all, let me apologize for not having been able to be here with you yesterday. I was supposed to be here, but I was also supposed to be somewhere else. So physically it is impossible to be in two places simultaneously. So I was in one place and missed another place. But I am here today. I was asking my guru, Ganesh Karnik, as to why an ordinary person like me is in the literary festival. But then he said, no, this is not literary festival as such. This is about Bharatiyata, which I love most, because our biggest problem in India was that our leaders for decades were RNIs. RNIs, resident non-Indians. They live here but think of the West. That is why we have not progressed at all. You see, for example, I'll give you one example. Today you can practice acupuncture legally in New York. You can't practice Ayurveda in New York because Ayurveda was not patronized by our government at that time. Acupuncture is patronized by China from day one. So when the government patronizes it, everybody respects it. And here we are not, it's only the last 3 years, the change of guard, that Ayurveda has been heard. I mean, in the older days when I talked about Ayurveda, people used to abuse me. They used to say, you are an idiot, you don't know nothing. I used to admit that. One day I was lecturing in IIT Bombay and I was talking about some subject which was given to me. But incidentally I mentioned that Ayurveda is a science. So at the end of the talk, one professor got up and said, I respected all that you said, but I lost all respect when you said Ayurveda is a science. Ayurveda is bullshit. It's hocus pocus, he said. And I answered him in one sentence. I said, I'm sorry that IIT Bombay has a professor who is so ignorant that he doesn't know Ayurveda is science. Ayurveda is a holy science, I told him. He kept quiet and didn't talk after that, and everybody clapped. Friends, let me tell you something. Indian thought, which was there, which is called Sanatana thinking, has been the basis of most scientific thinking in the West. I'll give you one example. For example, now, our young lady, handsome young lady, where is she? Smita Shenoy. Very, very nice girl. I like Shenoys, and Smita is a good name. Smita said, Bandhu is a very good word. Yes, I agree with her. No, but you will be surprised that I was, as a doctor, I'll tell you, most of our medical wisdom comes from the East, from Bharat, not from the West. We always used to say that risk factors, if your blood pressure will die early, if your sugar will die early, etc. These risk factors have been proved to be non-existent. There's nothing called risk factor. But the Ayurveda says simply one thing, Aptopasevi bhavet arogyam. You treat everyone as a near and dear ones, you will be very healthy. And you will be surprised to know that there's a latest study which is ongoing still. It will be out next month, which has been going on for 75 years. What's called the Harvard alumni study, which started in 1930 with the students of Harvard at that time, continuously monitored for 75 years. Many of them are dead, some of them are alive. But only 3 things came out as the important thing for Ayurveda, even health. Smoking is bad. B, drinking is bad. C, love and friendship and camaraderie is your tonic for long life. No, nothing else stands. And these are the three things which Ayurveda has been saying for donkey's years. And now the Western wisdom comes back to that. I still remember my old granny was saying that mad people don't get any disease. I was thinking she is mad. But now a study in the West has shown that so-called mad people like schizophrenics and maniacs etc. who were locked up in the olden days for 40 long years did not even have a common cold. They did not have a common cold because a mad, so-called madman, which you and I think is mad, he thinks we are mad. That man has no contact with his body at all. He is completely outside himself. So if you don't concentrate on your body, you don't get any disease. So they don't even get common cold. And that's a very great statement which has come from the Indian wisdom. So in every field of knowledge, Indian wisdom is the one thing that is the basis of real wisdom. But unfortunately what happens is, if you talk like this, in the olden days they used to call me RSS. I said I didn't know what RSS was at those days. Now I know what RSS is because of Ganesh Karnik. And I say, otherwise they'll say, oh, he is a saffron brigade or whatever. That's the label you get. But I always believed in the truth, and I always believed in, I was telling my friend, in what Karl Popper once said. Karl Popper is a great thinker who was like a colossus, stored on the London School of Economics for about 30 years in the 50s. He said, I quote, knowledge advances not by repeating known things, but by refuting false dogmas. There are so many false dogmas in every area of wisdom that if you don't refute them, you don't go forwards at all. And what we do in our education, she said, Varsat, Vidya Kshetradalli. Education is repeating the whole thing. What education have we inherited from the West? The first thing that the West wanted, or the British wanted in India, was to destroy our hoary educational system. There's a backbone in this country. There's the culture of this country. What is the culture? People think culture is dance, drama, yakshagana and all. That's not culture. Culture is what you do when nobody looks at you. Do you know what Indian culture is? You walk your talk. Not walking your talk like what they do in the television. Going with him and talking. No. Walking your talk is doing what you say and saying what you do. And if you did that, you are an Indian. And that's exactly what the world is now trying to follow, because that's the easiest way to survive in this world. So India has taught the world all that the world has to know, and that's called the Bharatiya Vidya and Bharatiyata. That's all I want to tell you, because beyond that I don't know anything about literature, lit fest, except that you light the fest, I don't know. So I try to light the fest. Thank you very much for bearing with me.